Oh no, we live!
Yeah, we live. Richard Pryor, live on the Sunset.
Hello, happy Thursday. Right now we're having some technical difficulties. Please deal with us. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Oh my God.
Have some fun.
Testing.
Yes, we hear you.
And I want my speakers.
Okay.
All right, can you say something, Kim?
Hello.
Why come I can't hear y'all?
Oh man.
We don't know. You can't hear us? You still can't hear us?
Yeah, we can hear each other.
Yeah.
Testing. Hey.
And we can hear you.
Can you say something, Kim?
Testing. Is your volume up?
I'm about to quit.
It's the
I'm
volume.
about to so quit.
It's the volume
I quit. You know what? It's been real. All right, I'll see y'all next week. I just can't figure it out. It's been real. I'm not muted.
Okay, let's log out.
Oh wait, your mic is hold on.
We can hear you now. Can you hear us?
I'm quitting. I'm telling these people I want my money back.
Okay, let's log out and log back in one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Say something. Can you say something?
Yes.
Talk.
Yes.
Y'all talking and I can. That's a dang shame.
Yeah. Hey, give me a minute. Let us all log off and come back in.
Oh, why? I think I know why. Hold on. I think it's because I got a whole bunch of computers set up. I think that's what it is.
That might do it if you got a whole bunch of things open. I'm fit to log off and come back on. I just got home. If Cindy asks, I'm coming back.
I think that's what
I can hear you.
I'm coming back.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna have to hire me somebody to help me with this mess because this is not working. Kim, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh.
quitting. Can you hear me, Kim?
Uh-huh.
Maybe it worked.
It worked?
I guess you can hear me.
Echo.
Oh my gosh, why did it do that? It don't matter. Hey, the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. All right, now I got my camera back. Okay, you can hear me. Now I lost Dr. Tucker, but Queena, I appreciate you tuning in. We got a few people that did tuned in that's just waiting because we gonna get this right.
The doctor said he'll be right back.
All right, let's do it. Okay, I don't know how is my sound because I had to unhook my microphones and just log all the way back off. How is the sound? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? Because I can hear echo.
You do hear echo, so let me fix something. You know what? Let me tell you what happened. I downgraded. Okay, I think it works. I downgraded my StreamYard paid program.
Okay.
That's my problem.
Well, they ain't playing.
I was like, let me go down a notch. I ain't trying to keep paying this monthly fee. I ain't really using it like that.
They said your voice is included in the
you gotta pay. It's like Spirit Airlines. You want air, you gotta pay for that.
That is messed up.
Okay, hi y'all.
Hello.
Let's try this again. We got some people already watching, just tuning in, waiting for us to get this right. So we're good. Dr. Tucker, I see you out the car right now. You good?
I'm good. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
I can hear you good. Oh my God, this is just too much. This was too much tonight. So, all right, people, y'all, thank you for tuning in. I'm getting ready to show just a quick clip to make sure we got our head right, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna get schooled because I hear 420 is around the corner. And I think we got some people that kind of want to talk about it. I know I want to learn about it because, no lie, when we grew up, I'm about to put my business out here in the street. When we grew up, my uncle and them wouldn't let us smoke, right? When we were in high school. And so we just wanted to be cool, right? We wanted to be like the older kids and cool. We wanted to know what is this everybody's doing. So because they wouldn't give us the real stuff, you know what we would do?
Y'all smoke grass.
Girl, we was taking dry leaves off the tree. We was taking dry leaves off the tree with newspapers, crumbled them up, rolling us what we called a bag. Girl, we thought we was doing this. So we just wanted to be like the big kids. So for my people that didn't tuned in, thank y'all for coming in. I got a couple comments. Marcy, my Kendrick Fulton over here talking about it's not that expensive, Cindy. Letting me find out. He telling me to upgrade my plan again, but I appreciate y'all tuning in. Check out this quick video, and we're going to be right back with y'all because we do got some good stuff in store. Dr. Tucker's representing Fort Worth, Texas, and Kim Fields, my girl Kim Fields, all the way from L.A., and that is California, my people, not Louisiana. She's
I thought that was Tootie from Facts of Life.
That
No, it's me.
What's up, Shola? Shola's tuning in. Marcy's tuning in. Y'all check out the video. We'll be right back. Thank y'all for tuning in. Here we go.
We got the unpredictable stresses that children go through, like losing mommy or daddy, or watching them go to jail, forced to grow up because they've been touched down there.
So, I have ACEs, and I bet you do too. And if you don't have ACEs, I bet you know somebody that does. Adverse childhood experiences, aka ACEs, are traumatic, recurring events that happen to children before they turn 18 years old. But it's much, much bigger than that. ACEs are responsible for rewiring our biology. ACEs are responsible for not getting information to the prefrontal cortex, the one thing that we need in order to make informed decisions. Adverse childhood experiences have been deemed a national crisis. And it's nothing new. It's things that you've already heard of. It just now has a fancy name to it.
Adverse childhood experiences.
Something tells me you probably know somebody that has experienced mental illness or suffered from depression. Something tells me that you might even know somebody that has suffered from heart disease or maybe passed away too early from a chronic illness that just didn't seem to add up. Or maybe you know somebody that committed a few crimes and now has spent a majority or portion of their life in the prison system. Or maybe you know somebody that suffers from substance abuse. You see, all of those things are common or familiar to most of us. But now we know that adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, have been linked to many, if not most, of those diseases, illnesses, and just poor life choices.
We got the unpredictable stresses that children go through, like losing mommy or daddy, or watching them go to jail, forced to grow up because they've been touched down there. They even see parents depressed with no time to spare. This is why the kids are lonely, traumatized. That's why ACEs matter.
ACEs Matter is on a mission to make sure that every zip code has someone that is talking and doing something about these adversities. This is the only way we will be able to level the playing field, regardless of someone's income status, regardless of someone's zip code. The communities that we want to work with have been historically forgotten about. That's why we created this campaign to identify 144 zip code heroes. People like you and I are going to be the ones to help solve this problem for humanity. We cannot wait for the next generation to take this on. You and I are the cure of this generation. ACEs Matter is a 501c3 nonprofit. And our mission is dedicated to helping those that are in the most marginalized communities. And we need people who specialize in the mental health industry, in the natural care industry, and even in the gut health industry, because we realize that lack of education has allowed ACEs to persist through generation after generation. We are serious about this mission. We are serious about finding zip code heroes to help us solve this problem. And we believe you have something to offer. Here's what we know. Healthy zip codes create healthy communities. Healthy communities create healthy homes. Healthy homes create healthy children. Healthy children create healthy schools. Healthy schools help cement the mold. Healthy children repeat this cycle. I am the intervention. You are the intervention. Will you join the Zip Code Hero campaign today by pledging your service, your product, your time, your gifts to ACEs Matter? Because there's a family right now that's in need that do not know how to ask for help. ACEs are responsible for that. I am Cindy Stanford, the founder and president of ACEs Matter. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Winter Park, Florida. We'd like for you and your organization to join us on this cause. All right, y'all. I waited for a few more people to log on, so hopefully we got a few more people tuned in. Hi, Dr. Tucker. Welcome back.
If I can find my mic.
You sound good. You sound okay.
Okay, good. Then I'm good.
You sound good. Kim, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
I want to make sure we get this right. So your name is Kim Fields. Kim Fields, if you had to represent a zip code, what zip code would you say you represent?
23701.
All right, 23701. And that's California, right? Or is that,
Nope.
what's that?
That's Virginia. Woo-hoo.
Ooh, Virginia. We're going to need you to edit your name and put your zip code next to it.
That's what those numbers are.
Yeah. So I'm Lubbock, Texas. That's where I was born and raised. That's who, gave me my superpowers. And then Dr. Tucker, you got your superpowers from Fort Worth, right? Yeah, Fort Worth. That's what's up. Well, we got some people tuned in. What's up, Shola? My girl Shola, she was on the show with us not too long ago. Marcy's tuned in. Marcy, you want to get in? Just comment so I can send you the link. You know, you my girl. Keep everybody going. So, we on this time where, technology don't always work out right. But I know Dr. Tucker probably got to go to work in the morning. Get with the kids, right? You got to get with the kids. We love the kids and Kim. But thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for being here. Dr. Tucker, can I put you on a pedestal real quick?
Oh, okay.
He's like, okay, sure. So, viewership, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Before I introduce my co-host, Miss Kim Fields, and welcome back Dr. Tucker, I need to say a couple things. First of all, we talk about sensitive issues on this platform. We've been gone for a while because I needed to do some operational stuff, but this was a special edition of Aces Matter Throwback Thursday because we know that 420 is a big day for a lot of people. 420 the time, 420 the date is a big day. Plus, we in a society now where everywhere you look, everybody is legalizing marijuana. So Dr. Tucker is here because he specializes in working with adolescents who may be struggling with substance abuse. So I felt like this show was definitely necessary coming into Tuesday. But before we get into sharing our opinions, our paraphrase opinions of what we have read about and what we've learned, like it's super important for y'all to know that this is for information purposes only. Dr. Tucker is sharing his gifts with us because he's good at it, right? He talks to kids all day long. He's got 20 plus years of experience working with kids and working with, especially in communities where substance abuse is a big issue, right? So I want to put that out there to make sure that if you're listening, like anything you take here, take it for a grain of salt. And we always encourage people to go do your own research. My particular thought that I want everybody to hear that's listening, that's checking in, is that these are our opinions. Opinions, much like onions, have their place in life. Use onions on the right dish, and you're going to get a really good dish. Use onions in the wrong dish, and somebody going to say you can't cook. So take our opinions just like onions. I want to put that out there because, it's our opinion, and we do encourage everybody to do your own research. The last thing that I'm going to say is because this is a show about marijuana, we are not trying to convince people to do one way or the other. We're going to put facts out there, paraphrase facts out there. What you decide to do with this information is up to you. The reason why Dr. Tucker is here with us is because he works with adolescents, and adolescents' use of marijuana has special implications. So we're not trying to encourage people one way or the other. We're going to put the science out there and allow you all to decide what you're going to do with that. And hopefully you walk away with a few nuggets on if you do decide to engage in a conversation with your children. Dr. Tucker can give you all some really sound advice and things that he's used with the group of kids that he's worked with. So thank y'all for tuning in. Please, if you're listening, see we got some viewership tuned in already. Drop your zip code so we can know who we're talking to. We love to interact with the audience. Plus, y'all ask some questions. We do have a special guest that has also joined. But before I invite our next special guest, Kim, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everybody. I represent the zip code 23701. My name is Kimberly. I have some experience working with kids. I used to co-manage a nonprofit at-risk youth type of camp. So I have experience working from kids from the ages 13 to 18 and raising my two myself. So, yeah, is a lot of experience.
Yeah, that's lived experience. That's lived experience. So thank you, Kim. Thank you for joining us. Kim is kind of downplaying herself. If you go look on YouTube, you're going to see Kim know a whole bunch of celebrities. She got all kinds of celebrities. Stop. Okay, my bad. If you go on her YouTube, she interviews all kinds of celebrities in California. So I'm putting it out there. All right, I am going to invite our next guest in, but before I do that, I want to let you guys know that Dr. Tucker is dedicated to assisting students in overcoming substance abuse issues. And he educates students not just on what the physical effects are of substance abuse, but also the psychological effects. So that is important to know when you start to use drugs at an early age. Dr. Tucker has been educating and intervening with adolescents and teenagers for over 20 years. He believes that parents and communities and schools all have a major role in the prevention and intervention, because I have a feeling like, we do have some kids that had already started. So you like, what I'm supposed to do now? So the intervention of substance abuse. So thank y'all for tuning in. And Dr. Tucker, we are looking forward to hearing from you tonight. You gonna stay awake for us? Because I got you up late. I mean, it's 9:00 in Florida, so I know I'm like pushing you right now.
No,
my
I'm good so far.
person got us.
I'm good for about 42 more minutes.
I got 42 more minutes with my man, Dr. Tucker. All right. I'm also going to bring in Mr. Kendrick Fulton. And I'm going to let Kendrick introduce himself and tell us a little bit about why he's on the show. Kendrick, you ready to come in? Give me a nod.
Ready.
All right. Kendrick, make sure you share this on your timeline if you haven't already. Hi, Kendrick.
How you doing? How you doing, Dr. Tucker, Kim? How y'all doing?
Hello.
As
Kendrick, what zip code are you representing?
Well, I'm represented. I'm in the state of Texas. I'm in Round Rock, Texas, so 78664. But I'm from Houston, Texas. And as I get into my story, I represent the 79107, which is West Texas too. So as I tell y'all my story.
79107, Amarillo, right?
Right.
That's Amarillo. Kim, thank you, Ken, for being here. Ken is representing his company is called Life in the Feds. Is that correct?
Right, Life in the Feds.
Life in the Feds. He's going to tell us a little bit about what that's about. But before we jump in, Kim, I think did you have a strawberry letter? Y'all know anything? Did you have a strawberry?
Yeah, so we received a letter.
Okay, so I want Ken and Dr. Tucker. I don't know if we old enough. We matured or seasoned enough to remember like this strawberry letter. So Kim got this strawberry letter she received. We gonna read it, and I'm just curious to know what y'all feeling about. What this kid has written in about, and let's chime in. Can we start there? Sure. I don't want to steal the name Strawberry Letter, but I couldn't think of nothing else. So we got a Facebook message letter, and we're gonna read it out. We'll come up with something.
We're gonna call it Cindy's Candy.
Yeah.
And then we're done. See,
Okay.
Strawberry Letter, so you take it any way you want to.
It is after 9:00, so I guess we could call it Cindy's Candy, I guess.
You took it as another type of candy.
No, my mind went straight there. I can't even help it. It went straight there. It just something was about. All right, I'm going to shut up. Go, Kim.
All right, so dear Cindy and Kim, where do I start? My mom doesn't even know that I've been smoking weed, but after trying a blunt after my father's funeral, I began to enjoy the feeling of being high. When I get high, I feel less stressed, I feel happier, and me and my friends always have a good time, especially when we add alcohol. I used to be depressed until I started smoking, but lately, things changed. I started a part-time job to help my mom.
Shut us down.
I started a part-time job to help my mom out, but I got to take a drug test. Now,
hey, Kim, I'm sorry to interrupt. Your camera froze when you said, I used to be depressed. You froze, and we couldn't hear the rest of the part. Can you pick back up where he said, I used to be depressed?
I improvise. Okay. And smoking basically takes the depression away. The only problem is I recently got a part-time job to help my mom out, but I had to take a drug test, and I know I'm gonna fail the drug test, and I know I'm not gonna be able to keep the job because I'm a smoke, and that's what I like to do, and I'm not stopping. So I don't know how to tell my mom that, basically I'm not gonna get this job because she's counting on me to get this job, but I like to smoke. I can't.
Weigh in.
Well, first of all, there's about 5 to 8 different things that needs to be tackled. But the first thing actually is real simple. It's bereavement. This particular young person. I wish I knew the age because then I could tackle it a little bit more. If a parent passes away between 11 and 18 and you've had a decent relationship, you're going to handle it totally different than when you're 21 to 30 something years of age. So I'm gonna take this as a young man, probably between the ages of 14 and 21, or a young person. I would say first I have to deal with the bereavement. The next thing is we then have to look at when the person said they lied, but it sounded good. When I smoke, I'm not depressed. No, for real, that's true. When I smoke, I feel good and I don't think about problems. Well, that's 1000% true. You don't, because hell, you're high. That's fact. The catch is what's making you run to getting high. We've already said it. It was the bereavement. And now there's an issue when you said, I I am going to not choose to work to help my mom, but choose to stay high. Because any person in a sound mind knows if I need to stop this to go help mom, I need to stop this to go help mom. But we also know it as I don't know if you pay attention to sports, Mr. Fulton, but we also know this as also known as Josh Gordon. How
Yep.
do you
Yep.
turn down? How do you walk away from 16 million from some weed? Because when you start at an early age, the brain and the chemical makeup is altered. And when it's altered, it never can be replaced. So you have a young person here who's getting high in place of something. And it scares me because they're also at the phase where they're not realizing that if you don't correct it through the right vitamins, through the right changing of diet, and through the right counseling, you're going to be faced to deal with something that you will never deal with. You're going to have this issue the rest of your life. And we know them as the adults that go around and blame everybody for everything, but they never take 1 ounce of responsibility for themselves. That's just
That's
a
deep.
nutshell. And I'm gonna allow
That's deep.
Fulton to jump in because I can keep going on and on. This is daily for me.
So I'm curious. So Fulton has a story. I know Fulton personally. And the Fulton that I know, he laughing. The Fulton that I know, when we were younger, he wouldn't touch weed. He didn't touch it. He would drink him some yak, but he would not mess with weed. So what's your thoughts on this kid's story, or even like the comment the doctor said about the NFL player?
Oh man, what the doctor said is so true. Real quick, you guys. Cindy is the mother of my daughter. That's how we know each other. I don't know if I'm
Are
supposed
you
to say
gonna
that.
put our business out there? You just gonna put our business out
I
there?
don't know. We got history. Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, we have a beautiful daughter together. So I don't know
We
if she
do.
told y'all my story. I didn't smoke weed growing up. I'm 47 years old, and I grew up in, I guess, the crack era. So growing up in that era, I used to ask people that smoke crack, even around people that's doing drugs, like, hey, how did how you go to smoking crack? And they told me that they started from smoking weed till their eyes got red. Then they wanted something a little stronger. So they put the crack in the weed, started smoking what's called a primo, and then they started smoking the pipe. So I made up my mind, oh no, I don't want none of that. If that's what you graduate to. And also I play ball. So I experimented with, I smoked some weed, but it made my wind short. So I couldn't run up and down the court like I wanted to. That was a no. Then I didn't like the high. I'm licking my lips. I'm paranoid. People looking at me. I don't like this. So I got me some cognac, as you said. But Dr. Tucker, another part of my story, growing up in the crack era, I was affected by the crack era. I thought it was cool to sell crack. I thought it was cool to sell kilos of cocaine. I lived the life, Super Bowl, All-Star games, Cancun, Jamaica. I ended up getting a 400-month federal prison sentence behind that. In 2003, I went to trial, and I got 33 years in federal prison. Solely by the grace of God, you guys are seeing me today because my release date is not until 2032. But due to COVID-19, when everybody got their first $1,200, Congress put in a provision for people that serve 50% of their sentence and have a minimum risk to recidivate to be released on home confinement. So I got a garage door opener on my leg. So I started Life in the Feds, and Life in the Feds is basically looking to my life You seeing what I do today, how I'm getting reacclimated to society. I'm telling my story to try to help the youth. Don't make the mistake I made. All of y'all don't have 17 calendars to do. All y'all don't have that in you. But as far as the marijuana, Doc, what you said is just so true. You know, I was in prison with a 2032 release date, and I saw guys steady going and coming, steady this guy third or fourth time. And I'm like, wow, my first time, they give me the functional equivalent of a life sentence. I don't get another
Mm.
chance. So I'm seeing guys getting locked up for violations. Once you finish your term in federal prison, you're on what's called a supervised release, where you got to go like probation. Well, I saw a guy, he said he's not going to stop smoking weed. Now, this is a grown man. So what you're saying is true. This is a grown man. He said, man, I got 10 dirties. They're not sending you back for 1, 2, 3. They give you 10 chances. And he got 10 dirties, so he's back in prison. He said, I'm not going to stop. I said, wait a minute. You rather come back to prison? You're not going to stop. They got to lock you up. I said, listen, man, you're not smoking in here. If you're smoking in here, you're paying an arm and a leg for it, and you're getting some dust. So, wow, man, so Doc, what you saying is so true. He probably was that teenage kid that said he's not going to stop because of the job. I'm not going to stop because of my relationship. I'm not going to stop because of my mom. Now you're not going to stop because of your freedom. So, wow, Doc, you just now, because I used to get like, man, them dudes crazy. Man, come on, man. I can't get out of jail. Here you are, you've been out, you back. But now now you help me understand, you know, as an adolescent, he had that thought process. So now I'm understanding.
And we have to, when it comes to marijuana, alcohol, and cigarettes, they've given it a bad term that I corrected often. And it came from DARE, talking about the gateway drugs. The gateway drug. No. Let's be clear. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. Marijuana is the damn key.
Right.
It opens the gate.
Right.
It ain't the gate. It literally just put it in that, turn it, and whatever you like, here it comes. Because every one of us in our systems, you have a euphoria. It happens when athletes first go out there the first time, and you go in junior high and you playing in front of 500 people. It happens the first time in high school when you're in front of 1,000 people. It happens in college when you're in front of 50, 100,000 folks. Then it happens when you become a professional athlete and you get drafted and you make the team. You have all these euphorias that happen. And it's also proven those same euphorias happen in a different mask in the brain with drugs. So when you introduce, we'll say weed, marijuana, cannabis sativa, when you introduce it into the system and the system reaches its first euphoria, which is the first time you get high, then you like it. It's not like some people who, as Fulton said, man, I don't like licking my lips all the time. Man, I don't sitting up here like looking around, and y'all hear that? I don't like that. So immediately that person begins to dismiss it. But you got the other part of the brain who in the amygdala, it starts that amygdala and that cerebral cortex begins to kick in, and it begins to move into the part of the fantasy with not the fantasy. It's the difference of the fantasy of the phantasy, which is the part of the fantasy that creates a mental component within the mental component. So people like that because guess what it says? You hear people say it all the time. Oh, when I'm drunk, I get to escape. When I'm high, I get to escape. What the hell you escaping when you don't even know where you at?
Yeah.
You're just in a euphoric state to where you don't know, so therefore you can't concentrate. But isn't it funny how you go to sleep, wake up, don't even have a good glass of water in the morning, and all of a sudden you remember that you're still mad at mama? You still remember you didn't do your homework? You still remember, damn, I gotta go pay this light bill. No matter what the issue is, it's still there. But you said you forgot. No, the last time I checked, when I forgot, I forget. But it's proven with the brain when all this stuff begins to happen, when we reach, and as I said before, in this kind of blends into with ACEs. When we reach, every person on this call, every person we will ever encounter will have problems. Sorry, We all wake up with the number one problem in the world. 96% of people, because there's 4% of people that don't. But 96% of people wake up with the same problem. You know what that problem is? Our breath. So once you get breath, you have another, you make room for your next problem. Yeah. But if I don't address my breath and walk up to somebody, hey, baby, she gonna be, what the? But anyway, she gonna be like, man, you correct that, right? Yeah. So small problems. But what we realize is when you have problems and we reach for some. Now here's the catch. When you're reaching for that some, you have a blank at the end. You're gonna reach for somebody or something. I'm gonna say it again. You're gonna reach for somebody or you're gonna reach for something. The catch is, if you reach for the appropriate body, that person tells you stuff you don't like, but we can live with it because they're teaching me how to live and begin to dream again. But when I reach for that something, that thing tells me what I want to hear because it's me talking to me. The funny thing with me, you caught that, right?
I did, but I was about to say I got one for you because somebody's on comments like they said, quit dogging cannabis. There's other stuff out there that's more hurtful to us than cannabis, but you dogging cannabis.
And you know what? I'm 100% right with them. But we're talking about the youth. We ain't talking about adults.
We ain't talking about adults. Let's get that right. So, if your kids, yes, go ahead.
So when we're talking about the youth who still got to go through puberty, who still got to go through this thing called life, who still got to experience stuff firsthand, I don't need nothing that's going to reconnect, reset, and jack up your mental components to not allow you to serve and to deal with issues as an adult. Here's the catch, because I'm right there with them. How about this one? Since they said that, let me say it this way. Did they know, the same person that put that out there, the same person that asked this question, did they know that a male and a female, the average female, if she waits till she's 20 and a half to use drugs or alcohol, she has a less than 15% chance to be an alcoholic or drug addict?
What? One more time.
If this teenager waits until they are 20 and a half and older, they have a less than 15% chance to be an alcoholic or drug addict. But watch this. If they did it before that age, they have a 42% chance. So you double. Now watch this. That's females. Males, if you do drugs before you're 20 and a half, we're going to say 21 for males, because males, it's proven you don't stop growing till you're 21. Females stop growing at roughly between 19 and a half and 20. So males, if you do drugs, you do under the age of 21, you have an 84% chance of being an alcoholic or drug addict. If you wait till you're 21 and above, you have less than 30% chance. And if you think I'm lying, go to any alcoholic treatment facility right now, and you're going to see 3-to-1 males to females. Because of the way the body is set up. So when you're bringing in cannabis and you're talking about the cannabinoid receptors that we already have in our bodies, going back to this same person, because I love a good challenge because it makes me all feel good inside. And so when they say that, they got to understand you cannot, especially with today's generation, you can't give them half information. You got to give them truth. And one thing you heard me say it at the beginning, when a person is high, we have to accept you high. Right? But when they talking about marijuana, they don't like to talk about it is impossible for a person to smoke marijuana to the point to where you're going to smoke it so much it's going to kill you. You cannot overdose on marijuana.
It makes you feel like it. I ain't going to even lie. It'll make you feel like it.
But guess what you're going to do? You're going to get hungry and go to sleep. And if you watch how the amygdala works, when an adult or kid gets high, your amygdala does this. Normally when we eat, our amygdala closes. It closes because it's telling the body, hey, you're getting full. It's okay to stop eating. But when a person is high, your amygdala does this. That's why you see people that consistently smoke weed. They never get full. They just simply get tired of eating. Mm-hmm. That's why you see them go to sleep with the hand in the bag of chips. That's why you see them go to sleep with a whole bunch of snacks around them. That's why you see them eating like this.
Yeah.
Because The amygdala is literally being altered by the cannabis that says, hey, you can smoke so much, I cannot and will not allow you to die, because we all have a cannabis sativa, a cannabinoid in our system. That's why when you hear people talk about these two words, I hate it, because even the news jacks it up, CNN included. You have a cannabinoid and you have a cannabis. The cannabis, just like a bus, it goes on and on. It's something that gets you high. You cannot get high from a cannabinoid. A cannabinoid is a medically proven thing to be used for medical purposes. So when people use that, they're talking about the cannabinoid, not the cannabis. The cannabis grows from the streets. The cannabinoid grows from the government. The cannabinoid also has a ingredient called a marinol inside of it, that when it reaches a certain temperature, it becomes no good. It becomes a sugar pill. They do that because if somebody has cancer and they're taking this and somebody wants to get it, we know them as teenagers, and go sell them on the street, if it hits a certain temperature, you just gave them some serious, you just literally just put sugar in the marijuana. You didn't do nothing to it. That's why they do that with the marinol. But the marijuana, the cannabis sativa, the stuff that's grown on the streets, check it out. You know what the number one ingredient over the last 15 years found in all marijuana that most people grow?
What?
Feces. Animal feces. So hell yeah, when they say they smoking some good they right. They just don't know. They really telling the truth. There's some good stuff they smoking because of the animal, because of the feces. But people say, why would they have feces? Because you got to have an animal to protect the plant. And last time I checked, a dog don't walk around and say, oh my God, I can't pee over there because that's where master keeps the marijuana. No, a dog is going to pee or poop where it wants to pee or poop. That's why you have hydro. That's why you have the bulbs and the people growing it with the certain type of temperatures, certain type of water. I can go on and on and on and on. But when you're talking about the specifics of a cannabis, you have to know if we're talking to the 22 and up, 21 and up, or we're talking to the 21 and under, because the audience changes. And that's why when you see athletes now saying, hey, can we use marijuana to help us alleviate pain? It's 100% proof. Yes, it does.
Why? How does it? I mean, why? Because that was going to be my question. Like, I was feeling confused because people are getting it because it's supposed to help with pain. But again, this is supposed to be about what it does to kids if they start too early. So it really does help with pain and depression?
Correct. Correct. It does. With adults who when your mechanisms in the brain is already connected, it's not going to produce the thing that we know as tolerance, and it's not going to produce this thing called addiction, because everything is set. When you find adults who smoke marijuana after 21 and 22, they're not addicted. They just like it. Those are the ones who are functional. Those are the ones like Phil Fulton was talking about earlier. Those are the ones still can go to work. No, okay, drug test coming up. I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna go get some vitamins. I'm gonna do what I got to do for 2 to 3 weeks, up to 45 days. I'm gonna do all I can to get the doctor. Then 50 days, I'm gonna lay off of it. Then I'm gonna take all these pre-tests. I'm gonna be good. I know they ain't gonna come back around for another 365 days. So I'm gonna smoke out, because you can call my name Chief, because I'm gonna chief it up. But I know how to do it to get around it. But when I'm not addicted, it's one thing. But when I'm addicted, I cannot walk away from it. That's why I use the name Josh Gordon.
So one-liner, kids who start early are more likely to become addicted to it.
Astronomically proven.
All right, time out. Ken, I'm going to need your feedback on this. We're going to watch a quick clip. Like I told y'all when we were doing this back in February, I can find all of my non-examples on World Star Hip Hop. So I want to credit World Star Hip Hop for our next video that we're going to watch. And I'd like to hear you guys' opinion on this. Ken, one, because you obviously had experience of exchanging drugs to people. And you already been to jail and did your time. So, you know what it's like to give somebody a drug. So I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this next video clip. So let's watch it real quick and then we're going to come back to the comments. Y'all ready?
Yeah. Hey, y'all here doing drugs with a baby. Man, y'all motherfuckers crazy. Hey, stop doing drugs with that baby on your lap. That's not right. Yeah, baby, they getting you high. That ain't cool. Baby looking. They're getting you out, huh? Yeah, man, look at him. Look at him. I want to get out of here. His eyes red. Come on, you want to get out? Look, he's blood. He inhaling that. Yo, that's crazy. Look at that. Oh, you got the back window. Oh, man. But I don't let y'all go and do what y'all do. That's a shame. I want to do drugs in front of your child. Yeah, you need to put that stuff out.
A video posted to Facebook that is difficult to watch. It shows a young boy in diapers appearing to smoke marijuana. A man's voice is heard egging the child on. Do this. Well-known Chicago community activist Andrew Holmes brought the video to the attention of Chicago police earlier today.
I really want to get some help for this child.
He was on the west side working with another family when he says a woman recognized him and came up to him to show him the disturbing footage.
I wasn't leaving without that footage.
At the time he captured it, it had received more than 500 likes and 1,200 comments.
I said,
It's yours?
No,
Your mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. One of the guys must have...
Must have what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not...
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
True or false? Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs. True or false? Or somewhere in between. Ken, what you think?
When you say use drugs,
y'all remember that 1980s commercial?
I
we all
yes,
seasoned enough to remember that commercial, right?
I'm gonna jump in. That actually they found out that it's actually at about a 58 to 59% chance. It's not as high as we thought it was. Now I'm gonna give you the reason why I know that number in my head. It's because to flip it, not talking about this, it's a whole different section one day. It's the same percentage that heterosexual households produce gay men. Oh yeah, I'm gonna flip you. I told you. So what they found out is the average gay young man comes 58 to 59% of the average gay men come from heterosexual household, a household with a mother and a father. It's the same way with drugs. That's the craziest relation, but that's how I know it. Never thought about that, huh? I know. I told you that's a different conversation.
That's for next week's show. Yeah. On next week's show, I don't know. Okay, but on the real. So in that episode, we saw two situations where parents were getting high in front of the first video was the parents had the windows up and it was a baby in the front seat. They getting high with the kid in the front seat. And then the other one was the parent actually gave the toddler some marijuana to smoke. And you can find numerous videos of parents like doing that. So Ken, what's your take on that? Like, what's your take on what you just saw? And then Dr. Tucker, what's your professional opinion about like what happens to kids who are exposed to behaviors like that? Ken, you first.
You know, Cindy, when I was gone, that was just as I matured. You know, I left when I was 29 years old. So as I matured, as I grew older, I started just really thinking about my actions on what kind of impact I had on society. And, you know, just over the years, you just learn it. And you start thinking about that. How many kids didn't get Christmas? How many kids didn't eat? How many kids, you know, just you're like, wow, man, I was really hurting the community. And it's weird because in the community, it's like they love the drug dealer. It's like we're popular people. We're famous people. And I'm like, man, that's just how twisted, how backwards this world is. Because I was hurting the community. And when I came home, I got a bunch of support, a lot of love. And I'd be like, hey, wait a minute, you know, I take full responsibility for my actions, but I was hurting the community. Now, on the flip side, Dr. Cindy, when I was in prison, it got so bad, it's a chemical, some kind of chemical imbalance. Well, in prison, you couldn't send someone a birthday card. If you got me a birthday card, Cindy would have to copy it, front and back, sign it, then send me a copy because they were spraying stuff on the card and then cutting little strips and smoking it. So they're smoking them some kind of chemical. They don't know what it is, road spray. They don't know what it is. So we can't get mail in prison. So I would see guys just zoned out, and I would look and be like, man, this dude here, man, y'all get this guy. And then, as a believer, the Lord began to show me, hey, that's what you were doing to people. You wasn't selling that, but you were keeping people in bondage. You were keeping people. So watching those videos, it brings me back to a time where I self-reflection, that I see how the harm I was doing. Because I'm pretty sure the drugs I was selling, it was some kids being abused like that or being mistreated by my actions. So of course I definitely don't agree with it. But just watching that, it brought me back to like, man, Ken, you was doing that with your actions.
Thank you. Well, what's happening to that baby's brain just with the contact smoke? You know much about that, Dr. Tucker?
Yeah, that brain is not developing at the rate it should. The synapses, the neurons are not connecting.
So what? So what? Like what? Won't they regrow? So what? I mean, what would you tell the parents? So what?
They actually could, but remember what we talked about before about the three gates: our eyes, our ears, and our mouth. So when the parents grow up and they see it, they hear it and they speak it. So when the parents grow up and they see it, they hear it and they speak it, they in turn do the same to their child. So that's why it was easy for the people around them not to even think about leaving. Because most of us, if I'm doing wrong, I don't want nobody to see me. I'm going to get the hell up out of here. But they was cool with it because obviously they have been around it long enough growing up with it that they're okay with it. So that's the part where the brain, when I say it's not connected. So this baby grows up. Now they're at 4 years old. Now they should be holding regular conversations of what 4-year-olds should be talking about, trying to teach them how to share, trying to teach them how to spell their name. But this is not going to take place. What's going to take place is you're going to see often staring from this child. You're going to see what this child has a hard time processing. You're going to also see what this child has a hard time comprehending. We're going to then that child will then grow up in the regular school system, and people will then say that this child has some type of special educational need. No, the child doesn't, but as time goes on, it will grow into where the child has special educational needs. So yeah, the brain is not doing what it's supposed to do because it's being engulfed with something that, especially when you talk about marijuana smoke, it's totally different than cigarette smoke. Cigarette smoke, for example, cigarette smoke will give you cancer 10 times faster. Marijuana smoke will kill you 10 times faster. Here's the catch. But we don't hear about that because the cannabis in the lungs does not show up as cannabis because no forensic scientist, no forensic doctor is going to sign off on that because all Tucker had to say was, man, I ain't smoked in those 60 days, but my lungs have been damaged from marijuana, and you signed off that I smoke marijuana. Now my family can come sue you because you have to prove a matter of a fact that I was smoking when I died. Not for to happen.
Wow.
So you have those two things battling. So this is how when kids walk into the school and I'm laughing and I'm playing with them, a kinder, first, second, or third grader, and I look at them and I shake them fools and I hit them with this. Boy, I know your daddy smoked. Get the walk. Girl, look at me. Look at me, little girl. You not going to be a smoker. And she just, I'm sure not. You so not. Get to class. Because I'm planting a different seed. I'm letting you know. And because I know, I'm going to reset what you see, what you hear, and what you speak. Because if I don't, your abnorm becomes your norm. And now in 4th grade and up, I cuss you out if you tell me marijuana is bad.
Because we are conditioning them to think that it's okay. All right. So give me an answer. Problem number one, I was burning with my kid and now I'm supposed to tell him stop because it's messing with your brain. What do I do?
First of all, you have to be honest with them. You have to lay out, especially if you are the parent who has not achieved what he or she wanted to achieve. And I'm speaking real now, because most of the time when that conversation happens with me and parents, I say you have to lay out the fact that you didn't finish high school, you got pregnant, you didn't finish, and you working these 2 jobs right now. It's not because you're not smart, it's because you start chasing after the drug and you never allowed yourself to grow into your capabilities. You have to be real with your child, because they see through the fakeness. Like I tell all kids, I love the research of marijuana. Love to have a debate with anybody. But what my expertise tells me is this: I don't have to get cancer to learn about cancer. So some kids will say, "Oh, Mr. Tucker, you don't know because you don't smoke." No, but I sure grew up with it. I can show you how to go in there right now and make some good crack. Because my uncle told me, "Little fat boy, all you're gonna do is learn how to make crack." And I'm like, "Man, I ain't doing that. Whatever, little fat boy, this is how you make that money." In his mindset, based on how he grew up, based on what he saw, my uncle knew for a fact that's what I would do.
So you don't have to become a product of your environment based on what you just said. All right, Dr. Tucker, somebody in the comments wants to know, do you work for the prescription companies?
Not a one.
Because I think somebody may be thinking that maybe you are anti-marijuana, and again, I think they're missing the point.
As the adults, I'm quick to tell you, do what you do, boo. Handle your business, man. Because after 21, it's proven you can control what you can control. I'm looking at it from the kids, and when people say that, because I hear it all the time, they're hearing the passion, thinking that I'm pro. What I am is pro-child. What I have as a problem is when adults go at kids with these asinine information, and when I ask them a specific question, Cindy, such as this: tell me the real name of marijuana. Marijuana? What the hell? Tell me the real name of the botanical that they placed in the book for marijuana. Half of the people don't even know it's cannabis sativa. They cannot name it. So how the hell you force something you don't even know the official name of?
I don't know it.
I know, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. When we have this conversation, I'm not coming at it. I'm passionate because the kids I see hurting, and I see where it's generational, and this tire is beginning to get traction. And the kids are talking to me, "Well, Mr. Tucker, it ain't that big of a deal." It is a big deal when all you know how to do is make money based on the fact of how much you get paid per hour. When I'm telling you, you can go and sit at the house and make that called a salary. But we can't have the conversation because people always want to put the badge or the label on the other person because of how they're passionate about it. Hear the story. As the people say, don't mask in my glory till you know my story. I am for the kids. The adults, we can have that conversation. You're going to hear a totally different thing. I'm going to tell you how it gets into the system, how it breaks down inflammation, how it sets up the brain nerves. Oh, you'll hear a totally different Tucker. But when I know parents have to have the conversation with their kids, you can't play with, not this generation, because this generation is about, we was about this. Tell me, Cindy, tell me, Fulton, when your mom and daddy told you something, you did it.
Yeah.
We didn't care. What the parents say? If I start talking and you in this room, you better, "Mama, can I go outside?" Get out the way. The adults talking. We couldn't even come over there and ask about ice cream if 2 adults were talking. These kids today will sit there in the middle of the conversation and chime in.
We would have got slapped in the mouth. Okay, time out. Ken, did you ever run into a situation where you had somebody want to buy product from you and you knew them and maybe they were too young for it? How would you handle the situation? How did you handle a situation like that if you came into it?
Who, me?
Yeah. So, I mean, did you ever have a situation where somebody you knew personally wanted to buy?
I had situations where you could be a grown person. I could have went to high school with you, and you were a grown adult. You were 24, 25 years old. But I knew how you cried over this girl that broke up with you. And I know, listen, man, if you get caught with this stuff, you going to tell on somebody because you are not leaving no woman. You are going to tell, no, I'm not selling it to you. You know, because listen, that girl, when she broke up with you, couldn't stand it. You just thought she was seeing somebody. And you almost committed suicide. So if you in prison and you away from this girl, no, you're not leaving her. You're not going to tell on me. I'm sorry. I don't have it. Now, if somebody else want to sell it to you. So, no, if you too young, one thing I advise people, I had guys getting out of prison I had guys doing all kinds of, hey man, Ken, help me get my feet together. I said, listen, man, I'd rather give you some cash money. I'd rather put some money in your pocket. And I don't want you, because you just left prison, man. Don't let me be the reason that you got back in prison. So as far as kids, no, it's just certain things you don't do. It's just, it's just certain things you do not do at all.
All right.
And,
Yeah, we
and
gotta go. You want to add something?
even with kids who come to me, because y'all see how I am. This is me walking up down the hall. Kids come to me in a minute. Mr. Tucker, I need to tell you what happened. Man, I got high. What? For real? What was it like? And then after we do that for 3 to 5 minutes, I'm gonna ask a simple question. For what? Well, I'm just doing it for half fun. No. You didn't say you went skipping down the street. You didn't say you jump rope. For what? And eventually, we remember when I talked about that sum? They talk about that some thing they was going through, that some issue. Yeah. And so now we can have a real talk. What? And what? Yeah, no, I just did it. And I swear, 5 to 7 minutes, you're going to hear something like this. Mom is tripping. My grades. I'm thinking about dad. You're going to hear some of them like, whoa, okay. So what is it about it? And before you know, we're holding a whole conversation, even though they started trying to tell me how high they got, because I'm not here to point fingers. I'm not here to down you on what you did. I just want you to understand to make a sound choice and understand why or what's making you go to this choice. And it never fails, because the kid will come back and say, this same kid who got high. Mr. Tucker, I got high again. Okay. I hear you, man. I pray all went well. Yeah, but it was different this time. What made it different? It's going to be a different problem. And eventually that same kid, I would then say, hey, you remember when we talked and we was laughing? Yeah. You remember one of the things you talked about? Sometimes. I remember one time it was about my mom. Yeah. What about the other one? Man, I don't even know. You talking about something about a car. Oh, yeah, the car broke down. So when I break down all this stuff, I bring up one word. What do all these have in common? Oh, no, they do. Say it again. Because I remind them about our breath, and they say a problem. I said, and guess what? Mr. Tucker got problems. The difference
So we smoke when we have a problem. What if we smoke when we just want to relax?
You talking about the average adult who got their stuff together. Remember, that's a different conversation. When kids do it, it's because they're trying to escape something. It's something. We don't remember. It may be as small to us, but big to them. But we have to get them to unpack that invisible backpack to allow them to breathe.
Okay.
But again, when they are so afraid that the average adult is going to point fingers, the average adult won't listen, the average adult is then going to judge them, would you want to talk to them? Because I still know people in the community and in my household I don't talk to. Because they're going to flip it. Well, you know what? You put your own self in that. Well, if you did this, well, that's not what people want to hear. They want to hear they're going to be okay. They want to hear that, you know what? I know you made that choice, but I know next time you're going to think differently. I know if you, like I told one kid, if you smoke 15 times in 1 week, if you told me, Mr. Tucker, I'm doing good, I only did 14, I'm going to do a cartwheel in the middle of the hallway. And people say, why would you do one cartwheel? Because I celebrate the smallest of the smallest. Because if we don't, that 15 now could jump up to 20 something. It just happens that quick because you didn't even celebrate the smallest.
All right, how we fix it? I mean, if there's something to fix, because again, people who are tuning in, viewership is going in. Like, hey, well, you take pills when you're in pain. I got all kind of stuff coming in right now. But again, audience, if you're listening, Dr. Tucker's presence is how to talk to kids about what marijuana does if you start it too early, right? Like, we're not talking about you grown, accomplished folks and whatever your definition of I'm fine is. Some of you might be saying, I'm fine. My parents did it and I turned out fine. So whatever your definition of fine is, we're not trying to trump that, because everybody has their own yardstick of like what it means to make it. So if there is a problem to fix, how do we fix it? And before you answer, Dr. Tucker, adverse childhood experiences, there is this one bucket of ACEs that is called household dysfunction. I called it household disharmony. The science calls it household dysfunction. In there, it talks about if a child lives with somebody who has a substance abuse problem, if you always high, you can't give me what I need as a mama or a daddy because you always high. I just got bullied at school. I need somebody to come home and talk to it about, but you high. So if I can't talk to you about it, then I am being emotionally neglected. That is an ACE. It changes the biological structures of a kid's brain. And now I think I ain't got nobody I can trust. So if that's not you, then this conversation is probably not for you. But the reason why we bring this up is because of the household dysfunction or disharmony that they call it. So how do we fix it? Like, if this is a problem, how do we fix it? Ken, you go first. If you had a magic wand, how would you fix this issue of adolescents being engaged with this product too soon?
Man, you know, Cindy, I'm old school. My grandmother just passed last year. She was 105 years old.
105.
So
I got to meet her. I got to put that on record. I got to meet her when she was like 97.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have wrote some notes.
No.
But I did.
Yeah, man. 105, man. She passed last May, man. She hung on. Yeah. I used to ask my mom, and what they did. Now I don't know, doctor. This is definitely unconvinced. You know how they were doing stuff back in the day. They might call it child abuse today, but my mother, she said that her parents, they would like put the liquor in front of them. Okay, you want to do this? Do it at home. Do it right here. And some kids, like I guess if your parents don't do it, but like if you take that bad shot of whiskey, it tastes so terrible to where you don't want it no more.
Okay.
You know, but at least that it was like a building a trust thing. Like, hey, you know what? I ain't got to sneak and hide it. My mom, my dad, they said I can do it in front of him. Okay. So, you know, but I guess that was a way. You know your kids though. You know your kids. You have to know your kids. Now you can't. Everybody can do it with their kids. You know, I guess knowing your kids, they probably would know. Hey, man, you know what? Nah, and you gonna get the worst. You don't get nothing that's smooth. You probably get the worst whiskey, some old granddad or something that's some Everclear. You gonna get some Everclear.
Not the Everclear.
You gonna give them some Everclear.
Not the Everclear.
Give them some Everclear, and if they think all liquor tastes like Everclear, they won't ever drink again because that is some terrible stuff. So, man, you know, man,
you gotta know your kid.
I'm interested to see what the doctor has to say because, man.
Okay,
you know, I don't know.
Before you respond, doctor, hold on. Ken, I did try that with our daughter because she was one of the kids that would always pick up my cup and just want to drink without asking me permission. One time she picked up my cup and it had some nasty Patron in it, and boy, she was not happy with me. Boy, she spit it at Mama, why you do that? So our daughter doesn't do the alcohol or whatever. She just anti whatever, but because she was one of those beggars, you always begging, I gave her my cup. And she drunk it. And she was not happy. She was not happy. Yeah. And the Lord forgive me. And I want to say one more thing before Dr. Tucker answers. Our viewer that was asking whether or not you worked with the prescription companies wanted to apologize because he tuned into the show after it had started and didn't realize this show was about like what to talk with adolescents about. So he wants to go on record and say he apologizes. He wasn't intending to come across that way. But knowing that this is about like how to talk to kids about marijuana, he put that out there. So thank you for that, Mr. Calvin Williams. That's my faithful Facebook friend. Okay, so your opinion, Dr. Tucker.
Okay, no problem. Tell him in the last 20-some years, I don't take nothing personal. Okay. I used to get offended because I was dark with around them light people, and they used to come at me all tough. Now I done learned that people just come the way they perceive and the way they see it. So it is what it is. But this is what I found, Mr. Fulton. What you said is correct. That's how I was raised too, you know, and that's why, you know, for me, dipping in my mouth, man, I'll never forget that. You know, sitting on the steps, me and my partners, man, no. So, that I totally agree with. But this is what I found out. What actually is sound, good advice. We have to create what I call the missing protector factor. Now, this adult is the weirdest adult of all the adults. this is the adult. Like for me and my friends, uh, uh, being married at the time, and me rearing my kids and their kids over all the time, I was the missing protective factor. But so was some of them. And what happens is you need a missing protective factor that a kid can go to, who we know who got a good background, meaning, they ain't for to touch the kid and all that, but they will have a good conversation with what the person said a few minutes ago. It's non-judgmental, where they can really just talk about whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whether it's concerns, whether it's problems, whether it's, my dad is going to do this and I'm afraid of this. And this person just gives good, sound advice, non-judgmental. See, most of us grew up, we didn't know that griot, that grandmother or that grandfather back in the day, that's what they were. Grandma, mama telling me to do this. And what? And she did? Yeah. And I don't want to do it. And before you know it, you went back and did it, but you had a different perspective about it because this person, this missing protective factor, gave you great information without all that extra. Sometimes as parents, we over talk and our kids shut down. Sometimes as parents, we under talk and our kids never listen. So we have to find that happy median, because remember, if I rear a child to go to the missing protective factor, that means that child is comfortable and confident in whoever that is. We just have to present the adult so that the kid knows that, hey, if you wake me up, if you come from school and you tell me, Dad, I need you to get Fulton on the phone, no problem. Hey, Full, he needs to know if he can talk to you about 8:30 tonight, man. That's between y'all. Do I need to drop him off? He said, I know you got him. I love you, man. Handle. I know you got him. And it'd be vice versa. Hey, Tuck, she tripping. What? Man, I don't want to talk to your wife. It ain't my wife. It's my daughter. She tripping. She said she only talking. Man, what I need to do? Because kids need to know that you're looking out for them, but you don't have to be always in their quote unquote business. And they also know when you talk to that person is just going to give you the skinny. They ain't going to give you that whole meat, what they talk about. No, she's just concerned about some things going on at school. And we talked it out, man. Listen, I trust what you're saying. I know you gave good advice. I'm not going to go upstairs. Hey, what you in full to talk? I'm not going to do all that. But that missing protective factor for adults and for kids is huge.
Okay.
It's huge. I even implemented that in the schools. Well, we got kids coming to certain teachers. The teachers don't even have a kid. But they know the adult is trustworthy. So I would say let's twist it up that way. And those who are listening, get the ones that you can confide into, that your kids can confide into, and allow them to be that. And all they're doing is listening and giving sound advice. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Tucker. I appreciate that. Ken, thank you for tuning in. Obviously, we could carry this conversation on and on and on, because adults will probably want to know, what do I do if I want to stop smoking weed? But that's not tonight's segment. So we're going to keep it moving. I do have a user that has commented a couple times, and they really want to know, and this is totally off topic. I mean, this is totally unrelated to what we just discussed, but they want to know, does smoking marijuana do something to your reproductive system? You can plead the fifth, or you can give your personal opinion, but this person wants to know, what does it do to the reproductive? I don't know who's trying to make babies in this time of the day. I don't know, but go ahead.
It is proven, just like with alcohol, it slows down the semen count. That's it.
Okay. But you can still get pregnant.
I heard that.
You can still get pregnant.
Yeah, you instead of shooting 1 million little soldiers and one of them make it to the end, right? You now might have about 850 soldiers, and one of them just pass out before they get to the end. That's all.
And they going in there slow and high. Oh, is this where I'm supposed to be?
Well, because think about it. The person has slowed down. Their blood flow is slowed down. They're not at their full peak.
You got a high embryo. You got some semen that's high getting up in there. Your kids, that's an ace. I just need y'all to know that's an ace. Y'all reproducing high babies. So that's an ace. Ken is like, look, I can't have you doing my bread like this. Y'all, it's been real.
Always.
It has been real, and this was a special edition of Aces Matter. So thank y'all for tuning in. Dr. Tucker, Kim Fulton, any last words? We definitely have some viewership. They've stayed tuned with us this whole time. This is a good topic, right? Like marijuana is popular, right? But you know, when it comes to the kids, right, we need to level the playing field because they already putting us on special ed buses like it ain't nothing, right? So we need to know, like, where's all this coming from? So any other last words that y'all would share or impart on our audience tonight?
I would say to all the parents, do your research on 420. If you want to hold a conversation with your child, hold it. Ask them, hey, I just saw something crazy about 420. What do you know? If your kids start laughing, they know some stuff. If your kid look at you strange, they know some stuff. If your kid within 2 seconds look at you and say, what are you talking about? Hug them because they don't know. You're going to know looking at your child if they know what 420 is. But half of them don't know the history, how some people got together, some teenagers in California, and they actually went to look for some treasury of some cannabis sativa plant weed that they thought somebody hid. And they always met after school at 420 because they could not get out of athletics at 3:15, so they had to wait an hour. That's why they always met at 420. And before you know it, they would walk down the hall and they would say, hey, 420, 420 it is. 420, Louis, 420. So after a while, that became the message. Then it was a concert where, oh God, I can't think of the rock group. They said, hey, let's celebrate 420. That's how we came about.
Polluted Invitations was the title of this show. Polluted Invitations. We all get them, right? It just really depends. Ken, you have any last parting words for our people about your experience with just the crack cocaine and the what Dr. Tucker called it, the key to the gate, not the gateway, but it was the key. Anything you want to say?
I want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for calling me on. I've been trying to get on. You've been trying to get me on your show. So
I've been trying to get you on my show. Yes.
Dr.
Yes,
Tucker.
thank you.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I had fun. It was fun. Dr. Tucker, I thank you for your insight. Now I'm able to be more gracious towards people, even with the youth. Now I learned something about how to deal with youth that's experienced as I'm telling my story to deter the youth from making bad choices that have them end up in the criminal justice system. I'm also able to deal with older people. Now I can look at them differently. You know, when I see them doing a certain thing that I think is just stupid, I have to know that this started somewhere. I can understand how it started. So I'm just learning. I advise everybody to learn and just be gracious. Just help understand what the problem is. You have to understand the problem before you get the solution. So we understand what the problem is, what the people are dealing with. So thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Dr. Tucker, for everything. And I look forward to
Thank you.
I look forward to learning more.
Studying it more. Just study it more. That's all we can do. So we learn it, and then when we learn it, we try to shed it. If there's a behavior that we like realize, oh, I probably shouldn't be doing, then we shed that behavior. And then as we go, we share it. That's the whole purpose of Aces Matter. We paraphrase what we learn. Dr. Tucker, I'm going to put your information up here. If there are people that want to reach out to Dr. Tucker, again, he specializes in substance abuse, especially with those in adolescents, because we've realized that if we do not have an adult intervention, that playing field is not going to be level, right? And we realize that we are opening up gates or doors for our kids that they really don't want to go in, right? And so I really feel like, regardless of where your kids are right now or where they might be headed, you can be the intervention. And obviously Dr. Tucker is here because he provides resources and information to help you be the intervention, even if your kid has already started using marijuana. So I do appreciate you all coming in. Remember, ACEs is a pandemic, right? ACEs come for your prefrontal cortex. And you cannot function if the back of your forehead ain't working right? Like this is where all our thinking happens. And substance abuse attacks that part, which we've already learned about. So I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. Dr. Tucker, I'm going to put you up there. Kendrick Fulton, you have a great night. Life in the Feds. How can they, if they want to get this lovely sweatshirt from you, how do they reach out to you before I put Dr. Tucker's information if they want to get your sweatshirt or support your business?
They can go to lifeinthefeds.shop. They can reach me on Instagram at Life in the Feds, on Twitter at Life in the Feds. Just holler at me. You know how you really want something. You know how to get it. So. Yeah.
2 heartbeats. Thank you for keeping our kids out of jail. Thank you for taking one for the team. You took one. You took 17 years for the team. So thank you. We appreciate you. All right. Thank you,
Cindy, the last thing before I hang up, literally, for those who are still here, I'm gonna show you how to look at how to remember the brain. Here is the stem of the brain. This is the amygdala. This is your ability to rational, right? Up here. And this is your emotion. This is how the brain sits normally. See how the bottom part is connected, how the irrational is connected to your emotion right here in the stem. When people start to get mad, this is what happens. Your rational is disconnected from your emotion. That's when we get in trouble. That's why when people say you blow your lid, they don't know you're really blowing your lid because you disconnected your rationality from your emotion. And now you fit to do something that's going to get you in trouble. But we'll talk about that later. Just trying to get you some words and make you understand how the brain works when she mentioned that. That's
okay. You just invited yourself back on the next show because I am very well aware of the hand model of the brain. When you flip your lid, when you snap, it's because your lid has been flipped. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will be back on May the 6th I think we might be back next week. I'm not really for sure playing it by ear, but for the month of May, we have a full calendar every Thursday in May. And the first Thursday in May, we're talking about a mother's love. So we're going to have a guest on the show that's going to be talking about her experience with ACEs, growing up in the church and being sexually abused. So if you guys want to come back, it's the first Thursday in May. I do believe we might have a special guest next Thursday, but y'all know we don't put nothing on our calendar. So just pay attention to your Facebook and we'll see y'all next week.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Dr. Tucker.
Thank you, guys. You guys stay safe. Be blessed.
You too. Amen.
We got the unpredictable stresses that children go through, like losing mommy or daddy, or watching them go to jail, forced to grow up because they've been touched down there.
So, I have ACEs, and I bet you do too. And if you don't have ACEs, I bet you know somebody that does. Adverse childhood experiences, aka ACEs, are traumatic, recurring events that happen to children before they turn 18 years old. But it's much, much bigger than that. ACEs are responsible for rewiring our biology. ACEs are responsible for not getting information to the prefrontal cortex, the one thing that we need in order to make informed decisions. Adverse childhood experiences have been deemed a national crisis. And it's nothing new. It's things that you've already heard of. It just now has a fancy name to it.